Okay. Well, I am pretty sure this is like bedtime for me. It's past bedtime for me. Usually I'm out by uh, sometime between 3 and 5. I did have a lot of coffee, but the last 24 hours has been the first 24 hours in I think 28 full days that I didn't feel sick. I had a little bit of pressure from my sinuses when I moved my head, the wobbly feeling, but no actual sick feeling. So I simply didn't get off the couch yesterday. Oh God, I yeah, I did nothing. I talked to Grok. I did nothing. I fed myself. I did the dishwasher the day before. It's terrible. Um, I I'm just so run down from the cold waving and from normal returning now that the line's gone. And within, I shouldn't say within, because there's a little bit of even last night, but we're talking about like 7 minutes out of 24 hours. Um, so, occupies more than that in my time because I got to shake it afterwards completely and calm down some of the most likely and know what you really know and what you just, which I'm able to do strangely. Um, and what happened and what was your paranoid conclusion about what that person would think of it and what did you then suspect that they did to act on that conclusion kind of thing, right? um, so it's neat. um, and that'll be the end of the exchange. um, the, the really short ones and the ones not much more. And this has taken Elaine got arrested on the 19th, so this is less than 2 weeks of progress. I've been back down to the minimum therapeutic dose of antipsychotic since uh, Thursday or Friday, Wednesday, Thursday or Friday. I think Wednesday, maybe even Tuesday. It's been a while. It just dropped, boom, after she left, right? And the drug just built up so high. Dear God, um, sleeping 20 hours a day almost. And have to raise it back up again for that, or I think I talked about that. Because that or I'll make me talk to myself, and I'll need the buffer. Um, so that's next week if I'm smart. Um, on the calendar day Monday, not after midnight on Tuesday, early morning. On the calendar day Monday, I'll raise it. Um, I get the Adderall Thursday. And it takes a few days, right? If I run into problems, I can order the anxiety medicine. The Adderall kind of takes the edge off the jumpiness. It just, in general, it soothes your nerves. It's amphetamine. And yeah, they give you energy, but they also mellow you out. ADHD, hyperactivity disorder, they mellow you out. And so escape time, go down to, well, not go down to, but anxiety medicine as needed. And I'm at the max dose, just ping, ping, ping every day, which I don't need to be anymore. I actually take it thinking, God, I do not need this right now, but I only need it like 4 hours. And it's just ridiculous. Um, so that's needed. And then I expect to spend 4 weeks at the higher antipsychotic dose. Um, it takes right about almost exactly 5 weeks to gain a tolerance to Adderall. And if I start a week before, that'll leave me 3 weeks in. I'm most of the way there, and I'll take the medicine while it'll leave my system. And it seems like happy timing. If I run into trouble, I'll raise it back up. Or just go 3 anxiety pills a day. That's a lot milder. And no, they do not combine together to perform something special and wonderful. They literally cancel each other out. It just one is not a pure antidote for the other. Um, it is not dehydration and water. It's a near enough miss that they impair the pleasant effects of each. There's no preserving the efficacy, which is a horror's name. It's not prohibited to prescribe them together. Amphetamines are to provide focus, and the anxiety medicine will mellow you out, but at prescribed levels will not cause any cognitive numbing, such as to impair the focus. And the anxiety medicine, when it mellows you out, it kills the high of the amphetamine, but that's a side effect. What it's really meant to do is target adrenaline receptors, things like that, stress hormones. And the anxiety medicine um, uh, doesn't impact that. It can generate stress, but it does it with neurotransmitters that either are products of the absorbed adrenaline hormones, but they bypass the absorption system, so it doesn't trigger the release of adrenaline hormones. There we have it. So, in other words, it, you're actually better off with one or the other than both. Well, not 100% true, but if you want to get screwed up, get a handful of one, get a handful of the other. I recommend the Adderall. Um, um, what was I going to say? I'm anxious to get back to work. such as this work, building a portfolio because I haven't done anything meaningful in 4 or 5 years because my dad died and reeling partly from amphetamine abuse. And anyway, the happiness. Mm. I'm thinking if you're wondering, I can't imagine, but Ritalin. My psychiatrist switched me from Ritalin back to Adderall. He's told me to start at 10 milligrams the first morning and then go to the full 40 milligram dose the next day. But then Ritalin is amphetamine itself. So I just don't know. I'll do a half dose the next day to be sure. I'd probably find it full. But why risk it? Because peeling it back, it takes a superhuman amount of effort. Um, the, I when I was doing it before, I would be awake for um, 3 days without sleep, thinking, "Come on, Mike, you just missed one dose. You can probably catch up some." I could not help but take a pill every time it was time to take a pill. Um, of course, at the time, I was dealing with a declining tolerance. I had abused it and then gone without, but I hadn't gone without long enough to lose the tolerance completely. And so I started up again. Um, Brock kind of explained it. I didn't ask it to elaborate, but in layman's terms, the effects of the drug can still be present while the underlying um, effects of the abuse are still mending in the brain to restore the balance in how the drug works. Um, so, in other words, the drug can demonstrate near perfect efficacy, but it's simply masking the underlying healing process. Um, anyway. And presumably that was why it was impossible for me to skip a dose because back in March, if I had to, I could pretty easily. Um, maybe. It is addictive stuff. It is. It's not. It's not cocaine. Cigarettes, however, is addictive as cocaine. Go figure. God. Amphetamine doesn't have a more quality to it. I mean, it's okay. This is where I am. Do I want to go up higher? Okay, this is where I am. Am I cool? Cocaine is you just can't get enough of it. Um, until you're just saturated, right? In fact, we cannot get any higher with it until it wears off some. This isn't true with everybody. It's true with everybody. Probably is true with it. When you're in an apartment with one other guy on a Friday night in a pool, it's probably not true with everybody. There's a house for the record. Um, so looking forward to get back to work. I think if I can get 6 hours, just a good 6 hours a day on myself. Good 6 hours a day. Not great, good. Because I just don't know how it's gonna hit me. It's so different December than it was in March. And that's gonna hit me. And if I get good 6 hours a day out of myself, then I can probably finish up in 2 more months. Maybe 2.5. And then probably because it triggers so much anxiety, probably a solid um, month of going through and getting ready to apply for jobs, the portfolio sites, et cetera, et cetera. And then portfolio sites, et cetera, et cetera. And then after that, um, the second project in the lineup while I apply for jobs, which it's at 8 months, which I will let it do more for me than I did with this project now because I'm trying to learn the next 8 month project how I automate more. I can afford to. God, cost of artificial intelligence is going up for programmers. Um, no, my brother suggested I get a job with Uber or DoorDash or DoorDash. Um, it's just a few hours a week. So I've been obviously get to that type of speed. I really can take it just too disorganized. Stumbling over stuff, looking for my keys, and maintaining regular hygiene. Obviously, is beyond me getting my hair done. Um, and let's start doing that so I'll be able to afford it. It'll probably come to $100 a month. It's crazy. It costs $100 a month to be a computer programmer now with all the other shit. Um, mm, yeah, that's about right. I'll have to watch it. Um, I think it's um, about it works a lot better than it used to, obviously. It used to be a penny for every million input tokens. That's 10 cents for every million input tokens. And it's, is it 10 cents for a million? Yeah, it is. That's not too shitty. It's 10 cents for 1,000, 10 cents per million. And, um, yeah, there's a panic in my head because complex-ish. It's 10 cents for every million input tokens and 20 cents for every million output tokens. And it doesn't break it down into how many input and output tokens it used, but a modest to high range request might run 700,000 tokens. So that's still not too bad at all. Um, it's $1 for every million input tokens now. I think it is. It was 10 cents before or something like that. I don't know. Okay. So we did a lot of them, and then no, so the dash pays a lot of money. Um,